Greetings and salutations. How are you doing today? It's Dad. It has been quite a long time since I've done a video like this. My apologies. I have no excuse other than just being lazy and doing it. The amount of time that I spend sitting behind a desk, I could have cranked these out months ago. And yeah, I didn't do it, so whatever. I'm sorry about that. And I'm actually not at home now. I'm not in my office. I'm at my son and daughter's house that they rent. I'm dog watching for the weekend. So I hauled all my computer gear up to their place, set up a table, set up all my stuff, and I'm going to make some videos while I'm here. So the last time that I was in the Dad Tell Us Your Story book, I talked about the best and hardest parts of being a father. So I gave you all the best parts, and now I'm going to give you some of the hardest parts. So, in no particular order, these are the things that I wrote down. Hardest, disappointing your children. I think that's the hardest when they're small. You know, you as a dad or as a father, you always want to do the best thing for your children. You always want to do right by them. You want to give them everything that you possibly can. And along the way, your children are going to get disappointed, even when they're little and even as an adult. And that's hard. We as humans, we don't like to disappoint the ones we love, and our children are right up there. You don't want to disappoint your spouse. You don't want to disappoint your children. So that is hard. That's one of the hard things about being a dad or a father, is doing that, disappointing them. Another thing is disciplining your children. I looked up the Bible quote, Proverbs 22:6, which states, "Train up your child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." And it's hard, if not impossible, to train up your children without discipline. We're not raising feral children, right? You're not just spitting them out and letting them fend for themselves. Part of keeping them, corralling them and keeping on the straight and narrow, as you would say, is disciplining them, and it's not easy. I mean, sometimes the little things, oh, it's not hard to discipline your children, but when you have to lay down some serious discipline to your children, regardless of the age, and you know that you are in the right by doing it, one, you're going to disappoint your children, which I already said is hard, and then the act of doing that discipline, whether it's taking something away, implementing something, a policy, a spanking, I mean, none of it, none of disciplining your children is easy. You know that there's a benefit at the end, but it doesn't make it easy to do. Along with disciplining your children, being harsh. I think in my time as being a dad and being a father, there have been times when I've been overly harsh, and I do regret those times. But being harsh in the context of disciplining, that's tough, because you don't want to be the bad guy. You don't want to be harsh to your children. Sometimes it's a necessity, but never makes it easy. It's never good to do. It's hard to let your children fail. When you see, and it could be failing at something that they're trying to do, failing at something that they want to do, failing in a physical sense, trying to learn how to do something and they get themselves hurt. It's never easy watching your children fail. Period. And you can wrap any type of thing, whether it's failure in a relationship, failure in school, failure in whatever. It's never easy watching your children fail. Sometimes it makes it less hard when you know that the outcome is better, right? If you fail in this, it's going to be a learning experience and you're going to come out of it stronger. So it kind of takes the sting out. But still, you never like to see your children fail. Along with failing, seeing your children sad, that's tough. Both when my children were little, even as adults, man, they came to me with whatever that's happened in their life, whether it was a relationship or um, something that they didn't get, something that they failed at, whatever. Just seeing your children upset, seeing your children cry, that's hard. That's hard to take, because you never want to have someone you love experience that sadness, disappointment, whatever. Yeah, it's hard. Um, and I said, especially when it comes to relationships. I've seen. Have I seen all of my children get upset at relationship? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I say maybe not everyone, but seeing your children fail in a relationship or have a disappointment in a relationship, that's tough. That is really, really tough. And the last thing, if I can read my scribble, the hardest part about being a father, the overall responsibility that a good father has, and the sacrifice. Yeah, and I'll go into this in some I wrote later on in the book about this, but it is hard sometimes to sacrifice what you want as an individual for your children. Now, how do I say this? Sometimes we are selfish. I can be selfish. I know my kids can be selfish. It is a human trait. It's not a very nice trait, but it is a trait nonetheless. And sometimes it's hard to not be selfish for what you want and to sacrifice that selfishness for your children. I mean, it could be as simple as you want to watch a TV show at night, but your kid or your children, they want to spend time with you. So you be more apt to, just go play with your toys, or just go do something. Leave me alone so I can do what I want. That is a hard part about being a parent, is learning how to sacrifice your own wants and needs for your children. Sometimes it's easy, right? Oh, of course I would not. So of course I would deprive myself of something so my children can have whatever. Sure, I will deprive myself of this pleasure, this time, thing that I want to do, this thing that I want to buy myself, this new toy, this thing I want to spend money on, and give to my children instead. Sometimes that's easy. Sometimes it is hard, but it is definitely a hard part about being a parent, is learning how to sacrifice for yourself. Yeah, I guess. Okay, let me see here. What time are we at? We are at 8 minutes. Oh, I got plenty of time. Let's keep going. Write about a favorite memory of being a father. So I actually wrote down quite a few things. I'm assuming the amount of space they gave you on the page, they wanted one memory. I don't have one particular memory, so I just wrote a couple of things. Walking with Julianne when she was little, she had her arms around my neck. Why I have this memory and it sticks out in my head, I don't know. And I don't even know where I was going, but I know I was a new father, right? Because Julianne was, maybe she was 3, maybe 4, but I know she was young. She was still little. She was small enough that I could hold, like, I held her right here. So she had her legs around me. I had my arm like kind of around underneath her, holding her up, and her hands were around my neck. She had long blonde hair. She had a cute little dress on. It was summertime. I'm pretty sure it was summer or spring. And we were walking someplace, and obviously it was wherever we were going, it was going to be fun, or it should be fun, or it was a nice day, it was going to be a fun time, whatever, because she was laughing. She had the most adorable smile on her face. And as I'm walking, she's kind of like just bouncing up and down, holding on to my neck. And that is like the epitome of of love and joy of being a father in the moment. If you can like just think about that. Here I am, a young father, my firstborn. We're walking someplace. She's kind of bouncing on my hip as I'm carrying her, and she got a smile on her face. And it was a precious moment that I'll always remember that. And the thing is, I don't even remember where we were. I just remember being at. I mean, talk about being present just in that second with her. I thought it was pretty neat. Favorite memory: teaching kids to ride a bike. Taught Julianne, taught Michael, taught Faith, taught them all how to ride a bike, plus or minus certain degrees of success, plus or minus certain degrees of crying during the process, falling, wanting to give up, the whole bit, the whole gambit of everything that could go wrong. Teaching a kid to ride a bike probably did go wrong. But in the end, I did teach 3 children to ride a bike. Mark and Erica already knew how, so I didn't get to experience it with them. But with 3 of them, 3 of the 5, I was able to teach them to ride a bike, and that is a favorite memory of being a father, because that's like something every dad does, right? You teach your kids how to ride a bike. Easter egg hunts with adult children. So 30 years from now, if you're watching this video, or if you're not in our family watching this video, as adults, or when all of my children were adults, my wife and I would, when we had Easter Sunday at our house, we would have a little Easter egg hunt for the adult children. And I would go out into the backyard and I would hide, a couple dozen eggs, and there was always one egg, like the golden egg, that had like a gift card in it or some money or whatever. And that was the one that everybody was trying to find. So before everybody showed up, I would go out and hide all the eggs. Excuse me, some of them were easy to find, some of them obviously were harder. And the golden egg was usually the most difficult. One year we had these pavers, kind of like the concrete pavers, as like a little wall around the backyard. And I actually picked one of them up, dug a hole underneath, and put the golden egg there. I mean, nobody would ever, ever, ever find it. And I had to eventually give hints and, hot, cold until somebody found it. But that was always a great memory of my kids, because here they are, they're all dressed up, they're all pretty in their outfits, running around the backyard like little itty bitty children doing an Easter egg hunt. It was a lot of fun. Let me see, we are at 12 minutes, so I keep going. Playing games as a family during holidays. So this spans from the time that my children were little all the way up through adults, getting together for whether it was Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter or even a birthday or whatever opportunity we had for all 5 kids to get together under one roof. We would play Jackbox games on the TV. If you don't know what that is, look it up. But it's a game that you play on the TV and you use your phone. And there's trivia and there's drawing games and there's just all kinds of games that you do together. And oh my gosh, we would laugh so much during some of these games. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. Playing spoons around the big table at holidays. Everybody'd get around the table and we'd be playing spoons and just laughing. And there was always laughter and good times at holidays when all of the kids would be together. Grandchildren running around. That's good memories of being a father. Okay, I have time for one more. I'll go up a couple more. Having your children and grandchildren fall asleep in your arms. Let me tell you what. There is nothing sweeter. There's nothing sweeter as a dad, as a father, when your young child, whether it's from an infant through, the toddler and the little child, when they're just all cuddled up in your arms, they've got their head on your shoulder or their head on your chest. and they feel so protected in that moment that I'm going to go to sleep. Because, right, as a human, when are you the most vulnerable? Out in the wild with lions and tigers and bears, oh my, when are you the most vulnerable? When you're going to go to sleep. And I think there's this innate human thing that we have that, well, I need to be someplace safe before I can fall asleep. I need to be vulnerable and let somebody else protect me so I can go to sleep. So when a child does it, when a child, your child is in your arms and they fall asleep, oh, it's such a wonderful feeling. I will, as a grandfather, as a father, I will never get tired of that. When your children and your grandchildren are snuggled up in your arms and are underneath the blanket and they're comfortable, and then they just fall asleep. I mean, when Brielle was a baby, they called me nap time Grampy because I could get that kid to sleep. She would be crying and fussing with everybody, and she wouldn't go to sleep. And they'd give her to me, and I'd get her in my arms, and I'd just kind of talk to her, and yeah, I could put her to sleep. And I think that's children knowing that they are safe and that they are protected and that it's okay to go to sleep. So with that, I'm going to stop here. No, you know what? I got two more. I got two more things on this page, and then I'll keep going. Okay, another favorite memory about being a father. When okay, what is this? When there is a show, or when there is a show or like a performance, at school or wherever, and your children see you from the stage. So, you go to the auditorium and your kids in the little whatever little musical, there's a play, there is a recital, whatever it is, and you walk in and you're sitting down in your seat, and your children are up on there, and they're looking like this, and where's mom and dad, and they go, when they give you the little wave, that melts my heart when I see that. That's a wonderful part about being a dad, is when your kid's up there and they're looking in the crowd and then they see you, and that's sweet. And the last thing, I don't know, I don't know if this is necessarily a single memory, but I know that I have great memories of just being a goofy dad. Whether it was, we're walking in Disney World and everybody's tired, and I just start doing something goofy to make everybody laugh, or I'm in the car, and everybody's tired of being in the car and they're cranky, and I say or do something, just being a goofy dad and having your children not laugh at you necessarily, but laugh with you. So yeah, that's it. A favorite memory is all of the times in my life that being a dad, that I could do something goofy and my children would laugh with me, just in the moment of let's just laugh because it was funny and dad's being goofy and silly. So that's a great memory. Okay, now I am going to stop because I'm at 18 minutes. Usually I like to keep these about 20 minutes or so. So I'm going to stop here. I will pick up on the next video, and you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon. Actually, we'll talk to you again in about another 5 minutes. Okay, bye.